Это видео о том, как я встретил астронавтов Артемиды-2.
Wow. I also have to shout out to my parents. I have to say my mom was my moral compass. She's the one that truly taught me that every single person has the same meaning, and that was a lesson I had to learn. I don't think that's something inherent we know. Thank goodness she taught me that. My dad, we had discussions about black holes at the dinner table, so he taught me how to really just embrace being a geek, and I love that. But there is someone that I remember that I will never forget her face when she told me I was tutoring calculus in high school and I still didn't think I was smart enough. And she just said, Christina, you are really good at this. You are really talented. You have something special. And she just looked right into my eyes when she said that. And I had to believe her, even though I didn't really believe it before she said that. And I think about how lucky I was, and I want to just say, if no one has said that to you, you can say it to yourself. You really can, because it is true. Tell yourself that.
It sounds pretty similar. My mom and dad definitely encouraged me. I had an older brother, so he either encouraged me mentally or by physical, convincing. He's a bit bigger than I am, went into the Navy as well, but in 11th grade I had a history teacher, Joyce Lamer, and she was the first person who told me there's some, I think that's the Army Golden Knights jumping down there. That's awesome.
Most important, the stars and bars.
Yeah, that looks great. But Joyce Lamer I did a test and I didn't perform very well. And she pulled me to the side and was like, I know you and you can do better than this. That was an incredible moment in my life for somebody to say, like, this isn't good enough and I know you and you can do better. Very powerful for me.
Yeah, this is going to sound like a broken record. Like Jeremy said, the list is long, starting with mom and dad. I mean, I could spend the rest of the day talking about them. But I'll just focus on 5th grade because this is one of the earliest ones. Is my science teacher, Mr. Hargrove. I was in the class doing a worksheet and I had finished it pretty quickly. And so I was in the classroom talking to my classmates, creating a disruption. And he pulled me to the side, and instead of chastising me, I thought I was about to get in trouble. He looked me in the eye and said, Victor, you know what? One day, you work hard, you might make a great engineer. And I'm thinking to myself, what does math and science have to do with driving trains? I had no clue. I didn't understand, but Mr. Hargrove telling me that in 1985 or so is the reason that I have studied engineering multiple times, and I'm sitting here up on this stage with you. And that happened at multiple stages in life, and very similar story to Christina's, but those folks investing in you. And so I say that because, one, the kids out there, like Christina said, sometimes you just gotta trust those people who love you. When they tell you something, even if you don't see it, sometimes you gotta just listen. But also to you parents and teachers, keep those bars high, because sometimes you setting that bar is what makes the kids reach up to it.
That's good, that's good. I can't help but think in my life it was a Corporal Doolin Paul Anselette, my geography 6th grade teacher, and my band director Jay Eckert. They showed me that what I thought was a deficiency was a superpower in disguise. The very things I got C's and D's in, or N's on, that was the conduct grades. Now I get paid instead of getting fussed at about talking too much in class. I get paid to talk too much. Instead of getting in trouble for making too much noise, now I'm a Grammy Award winner. I get celebrated for that, and even drawing too much, being distracted, now I'm an award-winning illustrator. And I only say that today not to impress you, but to impress upon you sometimes the superpower goes undiagnosed. So I'm curious, what gift, what did you bring to the team, and how did that come across most vividly in your mission?
We can't do a mission debrief here on this stage with all these people listening in.
Well, I think about it just in meeting with you all. I feel like, Victor, you've got such a perspective for seeing things. You got a calming personality about you. I think makes you keen for leadership.
They might argue that.
Okay.
Keep going, you're doing great.
So I ask you this. Let's share real quick. What is Victor's greatest strength in this mission? What did he bring to the table that folks out here need to know about? Because they see the jumpsuit, they see the man, but what was the thing that he brought that was the X factor, that was the wow factor that made this mission possible?
One of the things that Victor brought to our team in spades was his pursuit of excellence and just constantly keeping us focused on what's the next right thing and let's pursue excellence all the time, and that was a huge asset for us.
I was going to say he was the metronome, to put it into terms that you understand, just clockwork of precision at all times. Every time I was floating up with my forehead on the window, he was pulling me down, saying, help me operate the spaceship. And just like that metronome of precision.
Relentless pursuit of excellence and then doing it. Absolutely excellent technical crewmate.
Okay, next. What's the next? Who's next? All right. So, okay, listen, since we're talking about each other, I want to share a couple things. You asked about Reed, and since Jeremy started, I'm going to talk about him too. Reed, was assigned to be the commander. Really tough role. You have a very experienced crew. Our rookie has been an astronaut for 15 years, right? So, not a rookie anymore, but when we started this journey over 3 years ago, and he found a way to pull all of that together, and that is, even me saying it right now, is too much of a summary. He found a way, which sometimes was leading, sometimes it was following, and sometimes it was like, I don't know, we're just rowing and we're going to get to the next thing. And this guy, Jeremy, is probably the superpower sometimes goes undiagnosed. We've diagnosed it, and his superpower is empathy.
Well, now we've left out Christina, like the rock of the mission, the core nucleus of success for us. So when I like to go through training, I feel like I'm the big picture guy. I can jump to any conclusion. I can put a bunch of facts together and then make up the answer immediately. And Christina is always there to look at me and go, nope, that's not right. So I would say, Christina, not only did she fought hard to be the space plumber, that was very important to her, but she is the engineer of this crew, and she is the technical depth that will drill down to every level and keep her 3 pilots centered, focused, and pursuing excellence.
And she takes the best notes of anybody that I know. Best notes.
Well, talking about notes and the technicality of it, what do the people out here need to know about this particular mission that made it stand out? Like what distinguished it? What were we able to do on this mission that maybe folks said 5 years ago wouldn't be possible?
Oh, I was going to answer that a slightly different way, so maybe my crew can back me up here. But the first thing I was going to say to you is what the world responded. NASA gave us an amazing vehicle to go fly around the moon. The international community collaborated with us. We were riding parts built in Europe. We had a Canadian with us. It takes a whole team. It takes a global team. But the one thing that I don't want to be lost on the general public is what you saw with the 4 of us. That was a lot of work too. We put in tremendous work before we launched. We worked with poets, we worked with psychologists, we worked with spiritual leaders that had researched what does the moon mean to them and cultures around the world. We put in work too, and it paid off in the end. We put in a lot of hard work, the 4 of us, to work together. A lot of time spent beating each other up, crying, recovering, rebuilding. And by the time we launched, we treated each other with the most tremendous amount of respect. But that was not an accident. I have come to the decision or the conclusion in life, every success is built on extremely hard work. There is no thing as lucky success. It all comes from hard work.
Nothing happens by happenstance, only by habit stacks. Small things done well, right? Right? And there's a lot of things that were stacked on top of that. When you watch all the things that had to go right for that to be amazing, it was something we just sat back and watched and all. Don't y'all agree? Wasn't it amazing to watch? Speaking of amazing things, a couple of years ago, I was out in Afton, Wyoming, okay? That's a long way from where I'm from. But I'm out there working with some educators, and I forgot something in the car late that night. And I run out to the car. Now, they call this place Star Valley, and I didn't understand why until I looked up. The only way I can describe it is somebody dumped glitter in the sky. I've come from the bayou. I'm from Louisiana, born and raised. Playground's where I spent most of my days, but that's another story for another day. But I've never seen a sky that clear. My question to you all is, what did you witness? And I know you saw a lot of stuff. What did you witness that honestly the smartphone can't capture? Because I tried to take a picture of those stars in Wyoming and it just didn't come out the same way. What is that image for each of you that you will just never forget? Talk to me, Jeremy.
We've been talking a lot about the three-dimensionality that we witnessed. And so when you saw those stars, when I see them in dark places on planet Earth, they look to me like they're painted on a canvas. They're just all out there really far away. But when we were in space, there was a three-dimensionality to the galaxy. It's a pretty crazy thing to say. But that's what I could perceive with my eyes. I could see the Earth far away, and then it was like being in a diorama where I could tell that some stars were closer and further, but they weren't all out there, they were all around me. I was in it. I was in this galaxy. It was nuts.
I think some of the most amazing things to see was watching each other take it all in. Someone else's face illuminated by the glow of Earth off the moon, the sun. I mean, it was just phenomenal. But I'll share one thing. I'm a little bit of an early riser, so when I would wake up early and I might be the only person up, I would very gently get out of my sleeping bag and I would just put my head right up against our side hatch window, which was about this big, and I would just take in the galaxy, because you can't see it really great when the lights are on inside. And this was my one moment to just take in where we were at on those 3 days between the Earth and the moon. We were just going through space. But what I want to share with you is your window opens up in the night sky, because it's the same thing and we were in the same place. When you look up at that night sky, I encourage everyone, find a dark sky and just take it in and take in the perspective of your place in the universe that we all share.
This mission was full of amazing sights, sounds, feelings. Floating for 10 days is awesome. You should try it, trust me. But I will tell you, like, rockets are amazing, but so are heat shields. When you're coming back from the moon, we're going about 25,000 miles per hour. That's 7 miles a second. That's like one potato, Silver Spring. Okay, that's how fast we're moving. And when we hit the atmosphere, we're going so fast, that friction just causes the air to turn into a plasma, a fireball. And when that fireball lit up, he and I had these panoramic windows, and we're like watching. It was like standing in the center of a bonfire. And we still had a job to do. And I will tell you, like, going through that and then landing in the Pacific Ocean, but it comes back to what Christina said. Going through that experience with these three human beings, and then knowing that we're safe on Earth, knowing that our families know we're safe, that moment is funny. For 3 years, people were asking me, are you excited? Are you excited? I'm like, do you know how much work we have ahead of us? And when we splashed down, I reached over to Reed and I was like, hey, guess what? Now I'm excited.
All right, so the crazy things that we've seen. First of all, I love Snoopy shirts. Somebody was up here with a back in the day, we had Planet shirt. I see a full-on military outfit. I just saw the chief executive officer of Northrop Grumman, one of the most powerful companies in the world, handing out waters. So if you need waters, he's got them up here. But look, this mission was unbelievable, and I know part of this answer is the human perspective, and you've heard these incredible things we got to see, but it wasn't just one site. Oh, nice Artemis 2 shirt too. It was everything. So I'll try to make this quick, so cut me off if you need to, but we're riding uphill. The first thing that we see is the black of space, a little bit of curvature of the Earth, and then a moon just started rising above the horizon, and we were pointed straight at it. And then after about 24 hours in orbit, we saw the sun eclipse behind planet Earth, and Earth was about that big out the window. And we were looking down at Earth, and it was nighttime on Earth, but we could see the whole planet because sunlight was reflecting off the moon and illuminating all of Africa, straight to Gibraltar. We could see city lights. Christina just kept looking at all these thunderstorms all the way around, and then as our eyes adjusted, we could see the northern lights and the southern lights at the same time. Like, come on. And then very soon into the mission, I will wrap this up, but very soon in the mission, like
we don't point at the moon when we go because it takes 4 days to get to the moon. So we point where the moon is going to be 4 days from now. So very quickly in the mission, we were able to start to peer around to the far side, which you can never see from Earth. We started to see Oriental Basin. We could see Ohm Crater and the streets coming across the near side. We could see things you'll never see on Earth very quickly. And then we go around the far side. The moon was just gorgeous on the far side. It looks totally different than the near side. Oh, if you're into helicopters, turn around.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Get some.
And then we had seen the sun eclipse behind the Earth, and now we're on the far side of the moon and we watched the sun eclipse behind the moon. And now we could see the zodiacal light, the dust in the solar system be illuminated by the sun. There was this black 3D sphere, and then all of this white light around it, and then the stars all around that. He said we just went sci-fi. I said the human brain hasn't evolved to the point where we can understand what we're even looking at. Everybody was freaking out at that sight. It was incredible. And then he hit on entry, looking up and seeing 3 orange and white parachutes above us. There's no joy like that. And then we got to come home and hug our families, and now we're sitting here in DC sweating with all you. I love it.
Happy 4th of July! Make some noise once again, Artemis 2!
Спасибо всем, кто посмотрел это видео до конца. Подписывайтесь, ставьте лайк или дизлайк, если вам это не понравилось. Всем пока!